Thanks for that one. So there was one event that I forgot to mention, which is in this room on August 16th, which is Wednesday. There's going to be a pop-up show. See where it went? Here it went. So, see what we have here. Original paintings, photographs, prints, pins, tapes, zines, etc. for sale. An interactive art exhibit featuring 20 plus years of Memphis artist, musician Eric S. Qualley's personal journals and sketchbooks. Guests are invited to come browse through them and stay for as little or as long as they'd like. So that's going to be Wednesday night, one night only, 4 to 9. So Leah and the arts community here in Vancouver would like you to know that that's happening. So come on back on Wednesday if you're looking for something fun and cool to do. And I'm fortunate to be able to lead a poetry workshop, a Monday morning poetry workshop at a great place on the other side of the river called Multnomah Arts Center. And I want to say hello and thank you to my friends from Multnomah Arts Center who came over to the room tonight. I appreciate you making the trip, and those of you that are here for the first time, this is what I've been talking about. I hope it lived up to the hype. And our next reader is going to be one of those people, so please give a warm welcome to Jan Stewart.
Yeah. Thanks. No singing. I was once singing and somebody took their keys out and shook them and said, pick a key, any key. So I think I'm just. I said I was making a joyful noise.
That's it.
Thank you. This one is called Vague Recollections. One winter, my friends and I shared an old Vermont farmhouse while we groped and grappled for safe passage into adulthood. The farm was destined to become a mall, and its house fascinated us. It connected to its barns, sheds, and wood crib, and they pulsed with the years of chores done under shelter from winter's rages. I don't remember much about that cold building. The catch water dish wore a layer of ice every morning. A young man wrote music on a synthesizer and wanted to marry me. He spent his early teens in Delhi and wore a caste bracelet as tribute to his return to New England, as foreign as in that distant and steamy Hindu culture. I was clueless when he came to Oregon to see me, but now I recognize my cruelty. So, old luck, new luck. The boundary. Skin forms the boundary between you and me. Hearts call to one another and blood warms to the other's touch. Sensation and response. Smooth here, chapped there, soft and callous. Your skin maps a life you've lived and invites me closer to hear the stories, share the moments, but never allows me to merge with you except in spirit. Always marking where you end and I begin.
Thanks, Jan. And now we're going to hear once again from Stella Guillory. Come on up, Stella.
This poem is about the Yellow River. The Yellow River is the second longest river in China. On the way to the Yellow River, the miniature pine tree marks another barrier mound. More come up in the wheat field, some in the sorghum garlic field. A villager makes a fire on the edge of the road, burning paper money. It is keeping the living and the dead close. Having crossed the Yellow River pontoon bridge, we disembarked from the taxi. We're now in Henan province, There is a shepherd reclining on the grassy land, a bamboo pole adjacent to him, white sheep grazing. Are you a good shepherd? Will you give your life to save a sheep? Do you meditate upon your close proximity to the Yellow River? Do you walk across the floating bridge to buy the fermented black garlic from Sanzhong? Do you know that PP shrimp is in season near the mouth of the Yellow River? I reach with both hands into the river as if in a baptism. Some youths are on the other side of the bridge, frolicking. Thank you.
Thank you, Stella. Next, we're going to hear from Scott. Come on up.
Thanks, Christopher. Hello, beautiful people.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that's like freezing right now?
Yes. Yep.
Is it because I'm sitting directly under the vent? Okay, I'm not that nervous. I'm just shivering because I'm fucking cold. All right. My name is Scott. I'm gonna do some poems for you. I think. Dear Robert, I love you and I forgive you. It saddens me deeply that we live in a world where thievery is a career that anyone would feel compelled to pursue. Or perhaps you just saw an opportunity to become a little more wealthy at the expense of your conscience. I don't care so much about the money, really, or my ID, cell phone, keys. Some things have more meaning, like my favorite shirt that used to be Grandpa's, the card meant to connect me with a new friend, that vial of insulin, which is actually the most monetarily valuable thing that you took from me. Maybe you saw this and realized you'd lifted my life-giving medicine, that little notebook I hadn't really written in too much. 3 of my favorite pairs of socks, all gifts from my sister, green vintage REI headlamp, green clean canteen water bottle, metal pint glass, Contigo ceiling travel mug, the bag of coffee I'd bought, my green vest I got at the Fremont Sunday Market in Seattle, those mysterious and awesome retro shorts, those Gucci sunglasses Mom used to wear when she was cleaning the windows. Those I'm especially missing on this bright summer day, sitting at Relevant outside, reading a blinding newspaper. But it's over now. The scabs will fall off when you're not looking, leaving just rough skin and memories fading until those are taken too. Remember doing this, strokes and light falling through horizontal blinds onto these lines, some paths into an uncertain future. First and a foremost possibility, stay the course. Let the changes happen if they will, but risk and fulfillment. Next, act. Choose from infinite ways to behave in this awfully surreal world. Thanks. Dear poetry, I know I haven't written much lately. Forgive me for seeing your sister, music, more. For there's no choosing favorites. Anyway, you flavor it. Let down lands in open hands, haze scratches out the sky, glows matte gray. From the sling I hang in, rocking, floating, headline news, warmth surrounds my being. Are you feeling this again now? Fractally trees, breeze blowing, down, dipping, finally having peaked. Damn, fuck this heat, and that mosquito seeking sunset treats. Waiting. What are you waiting for? They're flying over again, unseen through the smoke or clouds, suspended in between. It's a roar that's not just heard, but also felt. And I know what they'll say. We do this for you. And can't you just appreciate that security, safety, and freedom are totally worth a little background noise every once in a while? But when I have to pause my conversation to reflect on the fact that I'm being extorted into supporting the war machine, and I already know I'm powerless against these takeoffs and landings, the stretch and flex of paranoid military muscles, so I raise my middle fingers, maybe saying nothing to nobody is listening, and after all, along, the sound becomes a song. Stretch the muscle, flex the muscle, listen for tiny clicks, signs of friction, spin the ligament, cock the limb back, check the chamber, pull the trigger. Explosive energy, feel physical fatigue, imagine doing this all day long. I'm ready, really. 65 miles and 3,000 feet of climbing, then do it again. Pedaling into the desert, 90 plus degree days, nights approaching freezing, and dancing for an entire week with an eclipse in the middle. So I tell myself that I'm going to survive even if the entire state of Oregon is sold out of whiskey. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. And now we're going to hear from Rob. Come on up, Rob.
So the first one is about my brother going through rehab, and should I go up a little bit? That's good. And the second one is about breakup. So they're both really humorous pieces. Hey brother, I don't want to see your ghost in my dreams tonight. Pick up stakes and head out west and go out through the Great Divide. Hear your voice and find your place in the scenic wildlife. But you will find the sun where crooked rivers run. Where crooked, with crooked hems undone, with kids at war and many fields to run. Hey mother, I don't want to see your home in a mirrored life. Mold your clays with rustic waves, cradled in the love of a moonlight. Burrowed trails with darkened jails set you free from the halls of your trialed strife. But you will find the sun where jagged rivers run, with kids of war and many fields of dark, ominous sun. Quiet. Please be quiet. Oh, be still. We are going to say goodbye across the hills. Please be quiet and don't say a word. I understand you're so disturbed. Just let the gypsy dreams lead you and light the way. Hearken, lover. Oh, please, you go and be fucking quiet. You missed the turn to Sovereign Lane, so let it be and call it a draw. I'll see you somewhere above the law. Until then, be quiet. Be good to you. And leave the war-torn shit show and bid adieu. Because the silence is deafening. Thank you.
And our next poet is Cheryl. Please say hello to Cheryl.
Hi, I've never done anything remotely like this before, so bear with me.
Go with you, Cheryl.
Wasted time. 6 years, 6 hours, 6 days. I could spin my wheels, but what difference would it make? Spent so many hours of my life burning and yearning, feeling so achy, but it was all in my mind, a construct of my making. Stuckness, boredom, complacency, despair, ennui, the feeling that you're getting nowhere with your life, criticism, sadness, confusion, worry. This is how it feels for me to be a wife. Surviving life. Panic, distress, worry, strife, and prayer and hope and handing over my worries with trust to God. Dear God, dear God, dear God, please help me. I know you don't want my life to suck this badly. I've fallen into this pit of despair, and it's time to get out. And it's time for things to start turning around, because I push and I strive and I persevere. I roll over it with my car and off of my back. And the last one. Mom of teenage boys. So what if I'm not the prettiest anymore? It's better just to be happy. I want to embrace my children, but they're just too bony now. And they don't want to cuddle. I get so hurt, I try to hide my tears, but they are hot and fast when the wounds come from them. They show me they love me in little ways. They even brought me a chocolate cream pie to enjoy on the grass while watching a great band and being a part of the festival as a family.
So how was that, Cheryl? What did you think?
Fun.
Did you have a good time? Yeah? So I get a kind of like a full body buzz when I do the thing, and it can be a thing that you just chase for the rest of your life, you know. And the fear never goes away. Just, you know, if anyone tells you that, they're lying. You know, that still happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like my whole life is waiting for those moments when I get a chance to do this. So it was a good experience for you. Try it
Really
again, and
good
it does get a little bit easier every time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you came.
Empty the contents of my brain.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
doing it here. I appreciate
For
it.
telling
Yeah.
me.
Thanks for telling me you're never not nervous.
No, I like.
It seem like you're so put together.
I like to be honest about it. Like most of the poets here, I am in love with the sound of my own voice, but that doesn't mean that I don't ever get nervous. It's nerve-wracking. You're vulnerable. When you get up in front of people, you're making yourself vulnerable, and that never changes. That never goes away. So it's important to believe in yourself, and that's the only thing that's going to make it so that you can get up here. But yeah, and I always tell people, and I really think it's true, the nervousness means that you care. Doesn't mean you're not good at it, doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing it. It means that it's something that matters to you, and what's bad about that, right? That's why we're nervous. Huh?
Don't get cocky.
Yeah. And don't get cocky. And here's a guy who's not nervous at all. Ian Caton, come on up. Ian has never been nervous a second in his life.
Ian's the exception. Yes.
I'm fucking nervous. But I just want to point out to the videographer over here, make sure the videographer gets my poet shoes. These right here
Wow!
Are those flamingos?
these are the poet summer shoes.
ever.
Jesus Christ.
If you're a poet in the summer, you need to get yourself a pair of shoes like this.
What are those?
Poet shoes.
These will inspire the flamingo poetry to come out. And
Ian, I charge an extra fee for doing video of shoes.
Yes. She charges extra for tipping it forward.
so I'm going to read a little bit of Pablo Neruda.
Ooh.
This is called Ode to the Tomato. And I'm not going to read it in Spanish, so I don't know if I can. The street drowns in tomatoes. Noon, summer, light breaks in two tomato halves, and the streets run with juice. In December, the tomato cuts loose, invades kitchens, takes over lunches, settles at rest on sideboards with the glasses, buttered dishes, blue salt cellars. It has its own radiance, a goodly majesty. Too bad we must assassinate. A knife plunges into its living pulp. Red, viscera, a fresh, deep, inexhaustible sun floods the salads of Chile, beds cheerfully with the blonde onion. And to celebrate oil, the filial essence of the olive tree lets itself fall over its gaping hemispheres. The pimento adds its fragrance, salts its magnetism. We have the day's wedding, Parsley flaunts its little flags, potatoes thump to a boil, the roasts beat down the door with their aromas. It's time! Let's go! And upon the table, belted by summer, tomatoes, stars of the earth, stars multiplied and fertile, show off their convulsions, canals, and plenitudes, and the abundance, boneless, without husk, or scale, or thorn, grant us the festival of ardent color and all-embracing freshness. Woo! Anita Palmer.
Ian's got a pretty great book called The Creative Records. You should ask him about it. It's a good book. And yes, let's pause for a moment to say thank you to Miss Leah Jackson for letting us do this. Come on up. Do you have an announcement or something you want to read? You should.
Just a quick question.
Yeah, come on up.
There's two Oregon purchases here. I just want to know if those people are still in the room.
I think they are.
Because I need
Were
the
they books?
expiration on the driver's
Oh
license.
shit, that was my fault.
Otherwise, I pay attention.
Okay, I believe it's probably.
Okay,
When- see,
fantastic.
they're both
Before
still
you
here.
leave, let's get your
So I got it partly right. I'm
Get it
sorry.
mostly right.
Sorry about that.
Okay, that's all.
That's
They're
it.
from Garuda, aren't they? Where you get from?
Thanks, Leah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Leah. This is also good because we're coming into the ending here. If you haven't paid your tab next door, make sure that you do that.
Everybody's paid.
Everyone's paid? Okay.
Fantastic.
So I've got a couple of things for you to say goodnight here. And there was something else I was going to say. I was going to mention. What was it? The hell was it? I'm perplexed. Maybe it'll come to me. I think I was thrown off by Leah's astounding beauty. Let's see what's going to happen here. Okay, yes. The apocalypse we were promised. Record heat, reality denied, healthcare stripped from millions. Haves laugh and count their blood-stained cash. When the streets run red, they will retreat into temperature-controlled bunkers. They will laugh and gorge themselves as we burn, warring over diminishing resources, fight over dwindling food and water. Many will suffer and die. No way of knowing how we'll fare, but shit is about to get real. We, the manufacturers of our own destruction, hold on tight, share, love. And so this is doing the collage poetry thing that I do to talk about the same subject. And some of the people I borrowed from here are Michael Shannon, who at the moment, the actor who's a hero, just for what he's saying about Trump alone. Maya Angelou's in here, Simone de Beauvoir, yeah, and some other folks. Secret accountability is a terrible contradiction. I have spent eons sitting here, right here, a black hole, a soulless, evil piece of shit. Naturally, this country can't stand truth. I knew my voice could kill people, so it was better not to speak. A spinsterish obsession, no intention of making my life a bore with precautions of this sort, had to hold my daughter and crush her head so she could go up to the sky. And then this last one, some of the folks whose voices will merge, and I didn't mention, but of course, I'm in here too, I just don't, I make it clear in the footnotes, but not when I'm reading them. Jimmy Stewart's in here somewhere, James Franco, Terry Elioff, who's a part of this community, Gwen Morgan, Carlos Santana, Tiffany, and Frank Capra are all in here somewhere. Discipline was not good. I've been in a perpetual dither of late. It's the guy I've been banging. See, I'm the star of a one-woman, multi-man variety show, a liminal figure who can pass between worlds. Abide by your grind, dust his little heart, offer turquoise. Life is crazy blurry sometimes, a vortex of possibilities, ambient photons bouncing around the room. A mathematical transformation of each face, encoding it in a face space. That's what you get for making out with horrible people. I like to be the bitch in the back, not just an arbitrary snail. A polysyllabic tendency, telling the truth in a way that makes people laugh, live, and love. The bronze lady and the stone man, seldom seen as anything other than sentient sledgehammers, tools to crush proles into fine, defeated powder, particles of chaos, post-crematorium has-beens or never was. Ask many questions and get many answers. There's a mythological aspect to rampant seriality. There's a lot of scatological and puerile language, an expansion of happiness only the valiant can create. People get what they need, enough to get them through. So since I mentioned Capra and Jimmy Stewart, do you know that the reason why there's such a great energy in those Capra movies is because Capra told his actors to read the lines like double time, Morgan, as fast as they possibly could. So that's why even though they're from a time period, we probably think some of the movies are dull or the dialogue can be dull because we don't speak that way anymore. His movies have this energy and this thing. And then so when Jimmy Stewart stuttered in his movies, I learned it's because he was trying to remember his lines. So imagine he's in, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington or whatever, and Frank Capra is saying, do whatever you do twice as fast, and he's, just trying to make sure he's doing it right. You get a little bit of that stutter. It's a beautiful thing. Go back and watch some of that shit. It's really good. I want to say thank you to Sean Aaron Bowers for his amazing set. Thank you to Leah for having us. Thank you to Scott for helping with the microphone, to Tony, my partner and wife and partner, and Tiffany for putting us on the interwebs. And really to every single person in this room now and who was in this room from the beginning to the end, even if they were just here for a second, everyone who's here contributes their energy to what's happening here, and every one of them is a part of what's happening here, and I thought that it was a beautiful evening. I hope you had a beautiful evening too. I'll see you again on September 14th. Thanks.